That's a Shame is brought to you by the people who support us over at patreon.com/shamecity.
If you have $1,
$2.
$1 to spare, join us again at patreon.com/shamecity. Please.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Hello and welcome to another episode of That's a Shame. Sorry we missed one last week. It were the BAFTAs and we were watching them. Was that last week? It was.
Yeah.
I think so. It feels like a much longer time ago than that. Anyway, I'm Isaac.
Now it's the Oscars.
Yeah,
We're also watching that.
But we have it muted out of respect for you, the listener.
And out of even more respect, this isn't an Oscars episode.
In what way is it not?
Well, we're not going to be doing like a live...
No, we're not doing a live kind of derivative. When we come to think each week, what shall this week's content be? And usually that's several weeks in advance.
Do you think each week?
What shall this week's content be? It's not based on things as fatuous and obvious as like, oh, what's on TV? We think about it in depth, we think about it in advance. And, you know, if I'd already pre-prepared some movie stuff for this week, that's a coincidence, and it's not because we're out of ideas.
No.
How are you doing? It's been a couple of weeks since people heard from you. I'm sure they'd love a little check-in with your mental health.
Oh.
Over to you.
We're starting with the big ones.
Why not?
That's doing fine, actually. Doing well.
And you'd like to credit Barnet Council for that directly?
I don't know who she is.
Okay, fair.
I'm all right, actually,
All's
to be
well.
fair. It's been a month. Mm-hmm. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and February is a big month for you.
Several days. Yeah. Oh, it's one of the, you know how everyone's got like our month.
It's Valentine's, and don't worry, we'll be doing a special episode on Valentine's.
I thought you just said that we were not.
No. Well, with some exceptions, because some things, they say love conquers all, and what's more demonstrative of conquering than doing a whole episode about love and lust.
Right, I see.
And fucking as well. Like, that's a big part of the Valentine spectrum. I
and
guess.
you've got some content, you've got some thoughts prepared.
I've got a thought experiment about the
Tones.
tab.
Oh.
Now, guys, when you're sitting at home today, I just want to share with you a little thing you can think about and ask your friends and family. If you live at home with your parents or guardians,
I'm just going to interrupt
siblings,
very briefly.
Go on.
Just to say, because it's funny that I was going to ask, how's your mental health?
It's great.
To reciprocate.
It's always.
But what's interesting is that what you're about to say
draw.
is a fantastic answer to that question.
Exactly.
Anyway,
to show that I'm in such a good place that my creativity bubbles over like the fountain of eternal youth from which I sip day in, day out. Here you are. You're sitting at home in your apartment, mansion, some sort of squalid shack, perhaps. I don't know. And we're not ones to judge, are we?
No,
far from it. They say, let he without sin cast the first stone. And for that reason, you certainly back of the queue, as far as I understand it. Yeah.
I can't even see the front.
Yeah, you're sniffing the kind of back passage of that queue, I guess, is one way to think about that metaphorically.
Not one that I would choose to be.
So when you're at home and there's taps or faucets in your house, whichever way you like to think of it, maybe there's one at the bath, the shower is one. You better believe this kitchen's got one in most places. What we were wondering about, and we were doing a kind of survey of people in our lives, what would be the most upsetting liquid to spew from that faucet tap when you turned it on, other than water, of course, because water can be upsetting. Generally, it's not, if it's going in the right places. What were some of your responses, Declan, that you thought about yourself?
I believe my initial response was, oh no.
Yeah, okay.
God,
no.
Please stop.
But then once you got that out of the way and you really engaged with the game, then it became a simple question and answer session. One of the good ones was sweat, for example. A lot of sweat, because the idea is that it's pouring in the same quantity as...
It was funny because the question was liquid, but it did descend very quickly into human bodily fluids.
Well, that's only because those are very upsetting anyway.
Well, we didn't explore animal bodily fluids.
That's true. So animal cum instead of human might be a real Because you know, like bull semen, that's very valuable. So you probably wouldn't be too upset, even though the first time it took you by surprise. If you were like washing your hands or something, they're only going to end up
Also,
muckier than ever.
but the trouble is like I'm assuming the tap isn't labelled. Otherwise, I wouldn't have turned it
no,
on.
it's not labelled as bull semen.
So if it came out, I would.
How
I don't.
come force it?
I don't know about you. I don't know about the listenership.
Go on.
My eye
Yeah.
is not hugely trained to distinguish the species
Of the fluid, but that's fine. You'd send it for analysis, wouldn't you? Like if our tap started not producing water but a thick milky goo, you'd immediately be putting that in a test tube.
But my
sending
trouble
it
is
off
that
to
I
CERN.
wouldn't. But my trouble is I would probably leave the tap off, right?
Yeah, well, same.
But then
You don't
what if
wanna
by the
waste
time
the white gold?
But what if by the time the test results come back, it's just water again, and then you're like, oh, there's
That's
all
life,
that.
isn't it? It's like that's like the gold panning. It's the gold rush sort of thing.
People, you're saying that we would have retrospectively looked some gift come in the map.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, mouth is not really anything to do with my understanding of the situation.
Oh,
So that's two of them. Obviously, semen and sweat, they're like the big two. But we had some kind of sleeper hits.
spit and piss, of course.
I don't think piss is a big deal. I think most people would not be that bothered.
I think that it would.
It would be really horrible.
I think it'd be horrible.
Because you'd never see it gush.
The main thing that we. Well, it depends.
Well, you'd have to have a very wide urethra. to
Oh yeah,
have
well I
that
see.
Quantity, like a hose pipe.
No, I'm not saying you ever see it gush tap like. What we were talking about with mainly all of these fluids earlier is the horrid nature of most people they have two taps, but what we've got.
Well, no, as most people in the UK, because we're behind in tap tech.
We've got just
mixer.
the one, and it's like a slider,
It's a concept that everyone outside the UK is used to, but we've lagged behind for some reason.
So the idea of like, oh, this is some cold cum pouring out here.
Which is the ideal temperature, hence the descended nature of the testicle vestibule.
Well, it doesn't need to be cold. It just needs to be colder than the
cold
body.
body temperature,
Yeah, but that doesn't mean cold.
No, but cold is tending towards preferable.
Not the cold of like cold tap water.
True, because the sperm will fall asleep at that temperature. They'll go dormant, whereas too warm and they'll denature into an egg white hell. And that's what you're always playing with. It's difficult to kind of find that sweet spot.
It really is. So like the idea, I think then especially of boiling hot piss.
Molten piss is really not good.
Not good. Because
Nor freezing piss.
No, that's horrible in its own way, but I'm thinking like where and we didn't want to get too technical. but where it's very kind of water based.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
well, ideally, because if
we're
my
turning
urine,
the tap up,
it would be colourless.
If we're
whereas
turning
I
the
imagine
dial,
yours is a dark brown.
If we're turning the dial all the way up to 11 on the old heat thing, that's just going to create a vapor.
Yeah, like at a football match at half time. You know about that, don't you?
I do.
That's everyone's experience. It's one of the most horrible things that just goes accepted. For those who don't know, who didn't spend their childhood going to Premier League football matches, or it might have been the case in some of the lower leagues.
I can only assume more so.
But because it's cold in our horrible hell country, and because the bodies of big burly men, when they come together to piss in a trough in the very quick moments you get in half time,
that beautiful camaraderie.
Yeah, like you don't have the it will surprise no listeners to learn that I'm a cubicle preferrer to a urinal, because I see myself, man is part angel, part animal, and I see my fucking arrow tilting a little to the former. I don't want to just debase myself by pissing in a wall, or literally, they are just troughs. They were, at least at all the football matches I went to.
Yeah, no, they are.
So there'll be like sometimes 20 people standing so close to each other that you're like basically feeling their kidneys expel everything.
Fucking linking arms like old Lang Syne.
It's disgusting. Everyone holding the next person just for a bit of support, and the vapour in there. I didn't breathe. Like, once I realised what, I was like, that's weird. Like, why is the trough steaming? Oh, it's because of the natural heat of urine steaming into a vapour that everyone's
Slamming
happy
against
to inhale.
the cold steel.
And this is the working class dream.
That's
No wonder we're out of the EU.
And I mean, the thing is that that's not technology that's improving. Like, our stadium is now the Olympic Stadium, the 20, and it's still the same trough.
Trough-based
It's
even
trough,
now.
yeah.
How hard is it to just dig a few different holes? Like, just a few different troughs rather
Not
than
the
one
idea
big
of
one.
it being in your imagery in the dirt.
I think, let me picture this, because it's an idea I've thought about before, which is that when we go into the toilet, the bathroom, it's a very horizontal experience.
We promised this wasn't a movie episode, and we have delivered.
It's a horizontal translation, right? You go from one part of the floor
I do just
to
need-
a further
before
along
you-
the part of the floor where there's a urinal.
Before
a
you get
urinal,
like too deeper into this,
toilet.
I do remember
Go on.
in episode 1 of this year,
Oh yeah,
there was a lot of come talk then.
yeah.
And I remember asking
If it were going to be a theme,
if we could
And I've sewn it right
end
back
it if we could end it there. And since we've done 2 episodes,
Right.
One of them we managed to omit a lot of it, but we did use the word grossel.
That was
the other
true.
was the bad sex and fiction awards.
and that was come heavy.
yeah, and
Well, that's the flavour of
and
the
this
decade,
again.
It's like that plant
Already?
that you walk past that has the aroma of semen. You know the one?
No.
Okay, well, we won't talk about that. But anyway, what I was going to say is that rather than going into a cubicle horizontally, like walking into one, why not every person drop down a little hole, a kind of piss dungeon, if you will, where like each, but so it would save on a lot of space, right? Because you don't have to build these big things. You just have a high up room, digging like a 6-foot kind of vertical coffin that you just jump down into, do your business into the soil, into the firmament, and then it raises you back out like that lift that takes you up onto.
And what are
the
you
stage.
thinking about the smell down in the piss dungeon?
I'm thinking you just hold your breath for the 15 seconds or so. That it
and what
takes
happens
to
if
release
the
it.
lift back up?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't.
what?
If it doesn't work,
Well, it will work. That's like saying what happens if if the piss vapors kill you from the ammonia.
I remember at Reading Festival, the toilets they were skips. They were like the biggest skips you've ever seen. That they had built walkways either side at the top,
Right.
with like little cubicles in, and the toilet was just a hole. Then
That's
into
kind of so
into
they've gone with my.
no, but you didn't go into it.
You just did.
You just did your business into the hole,
Okay.
but it was just completely like open. If I'd
That's
like
not good.
if I had been inclined, and if somebody on the other side had
If
been
you're
so
a sex
inclined,
pervert,
as I'm sure many people at the festival were,
Yeah.
if I'd like just put my head just
Yeah.
into the hole there, and someone on the other side had done the same, we could have seen each other.
yeah.
I seen
That's bad.
You know when you catch eyes above a pool of shit.
Oh God, do I ever?
And there was a point where they had to close it down because
Because of perverts.
because somebody fell in.
Oh no, that's awfully bad.
That's like
and that's
the
why I
worst.
say get ahead of that and make the whole thing a vertical process. So there is no falling in because falling.
You're
is
already in.
Yeah, like you've chosen to
Set
do
the
that.
expectations low.
It means as well it solves the problem
You
of
be
like
the thing is if you know that the way it works is I'm gonna be going in there.
yeah.
Then you're not disappointed. Whereas
Yeah.
if the idea is I'm gonna be
I'm
above
gonna
this,
not be going in there.
and then you do, you're gonna be bitterly
ruin your day.
disappointed.
It would solve the problem as well of the the like urinal math of if someone's at the edge and you go to the other edge, then you can there's a mathematical model that exactly pretty much predicts where people will stand.
Yeah.
So just trying to keep each person standing as far away from every other person.
Yeah.
If you were all just in, like Neo in the Matrix is like a battery in that thing. Imagine turning that so that it's a downward thing. You could have like 300 people all just basically within flicking distance, but separated by this small dirt wall that's keeping the piss and shit out of the other person's way.
Wow.
And you wouldn't need to pay for doors because people would only be able to see the top of your head.
You would have to
What?
pay for a mechanical system to lift people in and out.
That's fine.
I feel it's more expensive than doors.
I think there's a good ROI.
You think
on
it's
it.
the price worth paying
Yeah,
to
so-
shit in a hole?
Yeah, I think it probably is. Now,
I remember that. I think I might have told this story before about it's actually not shit related. I do
okay, no,
apologise.
that's fine.
Not to bring the mood up, but when I went to use the horrid skip toilet
Oh, yeah.
once,
I hope you're about to reveal that it was in fact you that fell.
it was
and
not.
that you
Jesus
suppressed that
Christ!
memory.
I know. One thing I've just remembered. I sort of like walked down from where we were camping, and on my way there, there were 5 police officers holding a man into the dirt
Wow,
on the
5
floor
of them.
because this person like was going as mental as I've seen a human go, like
Right.
to the edges of sanity. Like
Wow,
they were
pushing against it.
flailing. They looked like they had taken all the
All
drugs.
drugs that you could at once.
Yeah, and just fucking gone for it. And they were still struggling to hold them down. Like, and there were people around like, screaming and people like hitting the police and trying to, it was like I just sort of walked around it,
vibe.
went up, did my business, came back down. And as I walked past, everyone was just shaking hands. The man on the floor, bit of a muddy front, but just and then that was it. And there was no explanation given.
Interesting. So what have you ever thought about what could have happened?
My 2 theories are
Performance art.
performance art was one,
Yeah.
and I was pissing for about 3 days.
Oh, that could be it, yeah.
Yeah.
Enough time for a diplomatic solution to have been reached that, like the police favour, didn't involve violence
Exactly.
enforced by the state on the working man.
No.
Yeah, that's really good. Now, look, it is the Oscars, and coincidentally, I have some movies-related content.
Oh, we promised.
Now that we've put all the tap chat behind us, and don't worry, we'll be catching up with our regular feature tap chat next week. So have a think about some of those suggestions, get them flooding in to, what is the address? tass@shame.city?
Yeah.
Is it? Definitely?
Yeah, is that?
Yeah, it is,
TAS.
that, isn't it? I've just remembered we've got an email to read as well. Did you know about this?
Mate, I didn't know about
It'll
this.
blow your mind, the fact that someone's bothered to get in touch.
It has.
It'll really freak you out. We'll get to that. Remind me if I just blather on about calming a tap for too long. The movies are really good, and I think we can all agree on that, can't we? In these divisive times, can't we at least reach across the aisle and say, look, Mitch, look, Mitt, look, Don, the movies, they're good.
On a night like tonight,
Yeah.
yes, we can.
We've got to come together and put our differences aside and celebrate arm in arm with our fellow man. English, Scottish, Welsh even. What it means to be alive. And where better is that reflected back at us, that mirror held aloft before our graven faces, our graven visage, than on Hollywood silver screen. And I know that you love to take part in the arts. You love to
I can't get enough.
you love to not just be in movies, but to partake of them as a viewing experience. You love to see what's going on with the newest films, the newest releases. You love to dive back into the catalogue of old to relive what it was like to be alive in simpler times, 2009, for example.
Oh, yeah.
When some great movies emerged. What
Some
was
of
your
my
favourite?
favourites.
Go on.
Yeah. Oh, the one that won that year. It was
It was a
fucking loved
big
it.
movie. I've been wondering though, are you wasting your time a little bit? Could we streamline this process? Is there a way that you don't have to fuck about watching what's new, what's old, diving through back catalogues?
If I could just watch one movie.
One perfect movie that ticked every box for you, Declan Delane. That would be good, wouldn't it? That's
That would be, yeah, I suppose
a
that
hell
would.
of a pitch, I think
Because
you agree.
everyone, it's a near ubiquitous experience now.
Go on.
To be, you're in bed,
Yeah, oh
you've
God.
got your partner there,
Oh, crazy.
and you've got Netflix open.
Yeah. Or Rakuten TV.
The world's your oyster,
Yeah.
but you can't decide. There's
Oh, it's
too
rough,
much
isn't
choice,
it? Yeah.
and it's all bad.
It's the subway dilemma.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sad.
And so,
If you just knew, if I could, for example,
if Netflix only had one film,
yeah,
that's what you'd be paying £8 a month
and if
to
that
watch.
one film, if your entire subscription went to one person's wage, who in their full 9 to 5 job just researched you for a year and was like, this is the one. This is going to be on your Netflix, personalised to you. You're just going to watch this film forever. Mm-hmm. It's the film Ants with a Z. A-N-T-Z, as they'd say in America. You'd be happy as Larry, wouldn't you?
Oh,
You'd be
no.
crazy happy.
No, I don't like the film Ants with a Z.
You'd be spewing from the contact.
Is that what the algorithm said?
We haven't done that.
Oh, okay.
The
Thank
algorithm's
God.
ready. So, here's the pitch. You're having a sleepover, or you're just in the mood for snuggling up in a blank and eating popcorn, right? Question mark?
Always.
The problem is, what DVD should you buy or rent? Have you got bored of the one
Twin
you already
Peaks:
have?
The Return.
Now, by taking this quiz, I will recommend a DVD that suits your...
Actually, I think my answer's. I think I've already solved it because
I'll
TV.
recommend-
That's why TV's a bit better, isn't it? Because it goes a bit longer. There's a bit more
but it's not
variety still
necessarily
there.
good because this is about movies. The Oscar's not about TV.
Yeah, but that's
Small
what
screen,
that's what I'm saying. I've
small
solved
screen,
the
mate.
problem.
No.
Not on ours. It's fucking huge.
It's small. All you have to do is answer 12 questions to have a fantastic evening. This was created by Lisa, so you know she knows.
That makes it sound like just answering the questions will be the fantastic evening that I have once I've done.
will.
I don't even need to watch the film.
gonna be
As soon as I know what film it is, I'll
enough.
probably be so excited. I'm too tired to watch it.
Now, you're probably thinking, skeptic as you are, and look, I don't mind that. I once was a doubting Thomas myself. I plunged of these fingers into the holes in Christ's hands just to check that the crucifixion had indeed happened, metaphorically, of course.
What about that little slit in the stomach? Did you?
No, I wasn't
did
bothered by that.
No.
No, because I think
That was fine.
Yeah, you believe it. He could have got that. He could
You
have
see
just
that?
banged on a table.
Everybody who hasn't got that.
Crazy. You're probably thinking, Lisa. Really? Are you not claiming a bit much here? Are you not claiming to be able to, with just 12 questions, cut to the very core of what it means to be Declan E. Delane in a way that seems improbable at best? How many films is this algorithm taking into account in order to generate, with maximal accuracy, the full and complete answer to the question, which is the perfect movie for you? The answer is 4. 4 films in total. And those 4 films have been chosen, I can only imagine, with the kind of care and clarity that you would... Don't make me sick.
Oh,
That was
anyway.
Nicely done. So there are 4 films only that this quiz can produce. And that might worry you, it might arouse you, or it might arouse in you a certain respect for the quizzing arts.
What I like is that there are 4 answers.
Yeah.
And I have to answer 12 questions to get, rather than
You like
which
this
of
one?
these
No.
films.
How about this one?
Do you prefer?
No. This one, yes. End of quiz. You still have to answer the 4th one anyway, just to be sure.
Yeah.
So look, we're going to go through it. Let me just get this out in front. Don't be alarmed if some of the questions take you by surprise. They're not all going to obviously relate to certain films and film types.
That always happens with these things, because I remember we did that quiz about which brony am I or whatever it was, and it was
good,
like...
wasn't it? They were asking all kinds of
They
personal
were like,
data.
you got any foot
That's
fetish?
Cambridge Analytica's quiz. Number 1. What sort of films do you like? Comedy, musicals, girly, magical? What do you think?
Well, I'm thinking,
Comedy,
do I have to
musicals,
choose
girly,
one?
and magical. Which one do you like the most, I suppose?
Well, can I ask, like, do you know the 4 films?
I know the 4 films.
So is it that one answer correlates to one
I'm not
film?
at liberty to...
One film's a comedy, one's girly,
One's
one's
magical.
magical, and the other's a musical.
Maybe. I mean, who's to say at this stage?
So if I answer comedy,
Yeah. Are
like
you answering comedy?
I'm going to answer comedy.
Okay, let's move on.
Right, but what
I
I'm
wouldn't
saying
worry
is,
about it.
do you think personally,
I don't know.
as the person who researched this,
Who's to say?
that there's any chance now I could get the
A
others?
girly movie.
Because the magical one
Yeah.
could be dark as shit, no humour at all.
But it
I've
could be a
seen-
magical comedy. Like Bewitched.
No, it
with
could,
Nicole
but what I'm
Kidman.
saying is it could not be as well.
Could not be. But that's just the kind of ambiguity.
If
that
I
we've learned
answer
to live with.
musicals and none of the other films have songs in them,
You're fucked.
I can only get the
You're going
music.
to get a girly horror
Right.
at best. Which movie moment do you like best out of these? Now, there are 5 options here, and that's going to really put a
Are they
spanner in
from
it. The bit in Sound of Music, the bit in the girly film,
the bit in Harry Potter?
a boy daydreaming about a beautiful shop window dummy. That's number one. So, I mean, it's tale as old as time, isn't it? Every movie has one of these. It's like kill the cat, whatever that sick frog, like the screenwriting technique. A girl helping a magical ice bear. That's a big one. I think that one is definitely from a film.
Yeah.
Do you have a one in mind that it's from?
Well, I mean...
Don't say.
Okay.
A hippopotamus in a starfish bikini. A shy new girl suddenly becoming queen
That's
bee.
comedy. That's girly.
A girl saying no at her wedding. Now that's
magical.
there's a lot to choose from. Which movie moment do you like best out of these? Just out of interest. So just to recap, there's shop window,
boy staring at dummy.
There's ice bear, starfish hippo, queen bee girl, and no.
I think it's got to be the starfish hippo.
I thought so. Which one of these would you call romantic?
I don't want you to think that I'm just cheaply going for what I thought might have been the comedy answer.
No, I didn't think so. Okay. Which of these would you call romantic? And this is a nice kind of Valentine's spin on this question. A boy passing a girl, a boy saving a girl's life in the battle, a wedding on a tropical island, a boy takes a girl on his motorbike. I don't know what they mean by takes. A hippo and a giraffe. Now, zoophile.
One of these things. I'm intrigued by the first answer.
A boy passing a girl.
Yeah.
I take it like as a kidney stone.
Oh, I see. Oh,
like
no.
He's birthing her from his fertile lawn.
Because I was going to say, I pass women every day, and I've never once thought of it as romantic.
Would you call it romantic?
No.
But could you? Yes.
Not if I wanted to stay out of nonce prison.
What's the most important thing?
Well, hang on a minute. I didn't even answer that question.
Oh, I picked the one you said.
Which one did I say?
Hippo and giraffe.
Oh,
What's the most important thing in a guy? How outgoing he is, how good looking he is, how cheery he is, how funny he is, how romantic someone is. Now that one's complicated because it's not. All of the others use the pronoun he. How romantic someone is could be. I mean,
anyone else?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what he's like.
Not necessarily even related, no matter how tangentially, to the guy in question. So that's something to think about. A wrinkle.
Well, it's how hot
a
he
wrinkle
is.
in time.
It's how hot he is.
Okay. What's your favourite animal out of these? A Chihuahua dog, a lion, a polar, a dolphin. Animals. ... They give me the creeps.
Oh, I think I'm going to go for just the lion.
Yeah, it's a classic. It's strong, isn't it? It's
Not
magical.
like the sort of pussy beta Chihuahua dog.
Or the person who's creeped out by animal.
Or just polar.
What do you do when you watch a movie? Now, the first option is I stare at the scream. SCREEM. Just confirm.
I do that.
I stare at that scream. I laugh my head off. I sit on the sofa with my boyfriend. I have healthy snacks and lie on bed. I snuggle up in a blanket and munch popcorn. Lots of nice options. I'm sure we've done them all.
I don't see myself in loads of them.
Do you not?
I think what I do is
a failure of empathy.
I think what I do is I stare at the screen.
Okay, fair enough. What's your style? I don't care how I look. Sexy clothes make me look drop dead gorgeous.
No. Well, it's top one.
I set the trends. Animal print / my style is unique. Pretty summery clothes. Summery spelt like a précis of an event that's taking place. I don't care how I look.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
Just as a quick pause.
Go on.
How is it that you think just if you can imagine, I know you're not a quiz setter yourself, you're not a professional quiz setter. Why do you think it is that Lisa needs to know this particular data point in order to predict your ideal optimal film of the four?
Or she paid per byte.
Or bite of data that she
accrues on me. I don't beyond that I'm not sure. I'll be honest, she's done a good job of obscuring herself in the process because I wouldn't were it not for the very human spelling mistakes, I would have forgotten that any person could have been involved in this at any stage of the process.
What's your dream scene? Looking at the stars on island, slurping smoothies at a posh restaurant. Classic.
Posh restaurant food.
Lying on the beach, having a big laugh. Anywhere, as long as it's dramatic. Dancing at a disco.
Oh, see, this is the first question where I'm torn.
Because they're all good.
I do love lying on the beach having a big laugh, but
I'd be terrified if
I would be anywhere as long as there's drama because I do live for that. But then also, I like to dance at a
slurping the
disco.
smoothies.
Goodness, if I had to choose though,
Yeah. Now remember to be honest, because we don't want you giving what you think is the answer makes you sound the best, which is...
what's the answer that gives me Madagascar the film?
It's funny that you should mention that. I don't know what you're really responding to in the quiz. I guess let's just say...
I can go lying on the beach having a big
sure.
laugh.
Yeah, whatever, sure, I guess. Weird. Are you modern? I told you. I set all the trends, so I'm the most modern person around. Very modern. Yes. Not really. I'm very old-fashioned.
Not really.
Okay.
No
need to elaborate.
I like a bit of the video games, but I like Quill.
You mentioned before that you couldn't really hear Lisa's voice throughout a lot of the quiz, apart from these beautiful human moments of the fragility of our own lexicon, where she spells things at random. Here, Lisa directs this from her to us.
Wow.
With number 10. 10. I know you've already had this question, but this is slightly different.
Okay.
How old are you? Now, the options are odd. 4 to 6, 6 to 10, 12 to 14, 15 to 17, or 18 plus. Now, I know the literal answer, but do you feel that represents you properly? You can be honest. It could be about a mental age thing. Like, do you identify as being...
The only age that I would otherwise identify as is 11. Can you put the answer for 11?
No, I can't. I've gone for 18 plus. And with that, I submit the answers.
I thought there were 12 questions.
What movie is perfect for you? Your result. Let me just tell you what you could have had.
Okay.
Because I think you'll be surprised.
Okay.
Now, there was some mention of a tropical island of musicals.
Yeah.
And one of the answers that, in fact, the second closest for you was the movie Mamma Mia. And I think you'll agree that whilst almost perfect, it's just not. It's not quite.
It's not very funny.
Yeah, you could have had the Golden Compass, and I think it's there that we got some of the imagery of the
polar bear,
the ice, some of those other subtle allusions. You could have had Mean Girls, and for me, that's probably the one I would have lent towards myself. I think that might be the perfect movie for me. But your result, Declan. So you love animated films. They're hilarious, right?
I do.
Blank will probably be the most hilarious film you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's about
Go on.
a blank stuck in a zoo and wants to go wild.
Yeah.
Which makes it sound like he wants to get into porn. So his three friends follow him.
Yeah.
They end up in the boat.
This film sounds great.
In Madagascar, where they meet lemurs.
And what's it called? Damn it, give me the name.
It's Madagascar 2.
Oh.
So there you have it.
Wow.
How liberated do you feel to know that the Oscars are nothing to you now? You don't need to know about next year's cinema, last year's cinema, the year following that. You've got everything you need, and it's in David Schwimmer's excellent Madagascar.
I did used to watch that film quite a lot when I was younger.
Yeah,
so
and maybe Lisa is saying, get back to your roots. Cut back to when you were most authentically
what
yourself.
year was that?
I don't know.
Was it 2009?
Could be. Who knows?
Wow.
Now, that's out of the way. That's very much the preamble. We've got one more important personality study to get across before we're out here. Via the email I just remembered again.
Yes.
We've learnt about what film is the best suited to your personality, and it was Madagascar. But when it comes to daring to dream and to carrying through from the lessons of the silver screen into the real world, this terra firma in which we live in, as Paul McCartney says famously in Live and Let Die, we need to know, who am I? Not just what can I relate to, but who am I, Declan? And more specifically, which movie hero are you? Everyone likes a hero. Well, except for villains.
Oh.
If you are a villain, please do not take this quiz. I picked 4 heroes for this quiz. I'd tell you who they were, but then I'd have to kill you. This is, Amazon created this quiz.
Oh, wow.
And it's actually a link to Amazon, so that's good. Are you a hero? What kind of hero do you think you are? Doesn't matter. Click here to find out.
Oh, right, I see.
You aren't scared, are you?
Me?
Answer the questions to find out which category you fit in.
Oh, okay.
Now, there are 15 of these. So I'm gonna need some
Questions or
serious
categories?
15 questions, 4 possible heroes, and I assume in a kind of Campbellian sense they've been chosen to represent the 4 great archetypes. And it will reveal all of them at the end, so maybe we can just see how it's possible to divide humanity into these big 4.
First question. What sort of man are you? Iron, spider, bat, or ant?
Or Wonder Woo. Number 1, what is your age? Under 18, 18 to 24. They've got the categories right.
Okay.
It goes up to 60, so you can't be older than that.
No, well,
I'm going to pick your real one, 31 to 40. What is your gender? Male or female?
The projection from
It's a little bit of a binary.
Yeah, I don't like
construct here,
that.
and I've gone for male, but not pleasedly.
Thank you.
How badly do you want to save the world? I'll do whatever it takes. I can't help.
Good hero.
I'd rather not. It's my destiny. Bit of a confusing idea there. The world doesn't deserve it. Sounds like an anti-hero, kind of bad guy.
I'm going to have to go that last
The
one.
world doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
What can...
So I would like to say that I can't help is also technically correct.
What can stop you? Nothing? I just have one weakness. Ha 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 ha. Or only the most difficult obstacle.
I'm intrigued by answer number 3.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, I don't know what it means, but I identify with it.
Seem you're sort of...
Yeah, I'm going for it, yeah.
Do you have any special powers? I can fly. I am invisible. Powerful friends. My superior intellect.
Um,
Now,
I'm
you can pick
going to
powerful...
say...
Like, you can count me in this, you can pick powerful friends.
I can't fly.
No, that's true.
I'm too visible.
Okay.
You
got friends in high places. For sure. For sure. I've got a podcast.
I'm going to have to go with my superior intellect, I think.
Okay, an arrogant sort of hero. Why does the world need to be saved? There are so many
Did I
people
not
out there.
answer earlier that it doesn't?
Global warming. It's filled with hate. It's all a lie. So there are so many people out there. Global warming. It's filled with hate or it's all a lie. Kind of hero are you?
I think it is filled with hate.
Okay. Who's the worst villain? The Machine? Sauron? Whomever is attacking the US? Or Lex Luthor?
When they say worst villain,
Yeah.
do they mean
In what sense?
do they mean like morally, or do they mean
Least effective. Let's go morally. And obviously, like, it's got to be whoever's attacking the US, I guess.
I think the Machine.
Okay, fair enough.
Don't know what it is, but
How will you stop that? Force of will? Magic?
unplug.
Gun? Quote, I'm going to need a hacksaw.
Gun.
You go with gun?
I'm going with gun. I'm going to stop it with gun.
Your friends, maybe this is more a question for me, question 9. Your friends think you're cool, a wimp, mystery. They're scared of me. What do you think?
Well, go on. Well, you said it's a question for you.
Friends think you're a wimp, mystery. They're scared of me or cool. I guess it's kind of a coward wimp
Yeah.
because of your inability to kind of own up to some of the other questions about your powerful friends that you were willing to kind of disregard in favour of this so-called superior intellect.
Well, you could say then that it's a mystery why I did that.
It is a mystery why you're such a wimp.
It's nice to know. It's good to know. Okay. Yeah.
What's the most important? Leadership, determination, strength, surprise.
Oh, surprise.
What's the best way out of a jam? Breakout. Sucker your adversary. Take the best shot. Don't get in a jam.
I like the thinking of answer D. Yeah.
This is a real hero. Who are your friends? Some questionable characters. I don't have friends. Good looking girl, singular. No G on looking. That was an
On girl.
couple of guys that can be trusted.
So what was answer 1?
Questionable characters.
Yeah.
Don't have friends. Good looking girl. Couple of guys that can be trusted.
You know what? I'm tempted for the first because you are all questionable characters.
You're referring to me in the plural.
You and like all my friends.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to go with the last answer.
A couple of guys that can be trusted.
Yeah.
That's good. Would you describe yourself as great looking? Perfect? I don't see the relevance. The best.
Well, there's really only two answers here, disguised as three. I'm going to have to be honest here and say that I do not see the relevance.
Fair enough. Do you wear a cape? Yeah. No. Yeah. It is useful.
Well, not the last one.
Okay. So
And,
it's either
and not answers
yeah,
one or
no.
three either. So I'm going to have to go with no.
Final question, and this for me is the most important one. This is where it all kind of coagulates. Like when you're in the phase of whisking aquafaba, chickpea juice.
When you're turning on the old cum tap.
Or that, I suppose, but when you're whisking that aqua chickpea, and suddenly it's all a liquid, you're just whisking liquid, and then suddenly it becomes egg-like, a meringue quality to it, peaks and foam and all that. This is where everything comes together. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. The question is, are you ready to be a hero?
Oh, I see.
Not really. If necessary, yeah. Claire, not really again. So there are 6 to choose from.
I think it's not really, but I'm confused
Glare.
which one.
Not Glare.
No, not glare. I don't really do that.
That'd be cool though if someone was like, "You ready to be here?" and you just didn't answer with your words, but you answered with your eye squint.
With my glare.
Yeah, if you squinched at them, that could be cool. If you smized, as they say.
I'm going to go for the last answer. Not really,
Okay. Let's see.
because I had to think about it.
Yeah, that's fair enough, and it's good to be honest. I like to see that in a quizzy. I really do. Which movie hero are you? I'm going to tell you which ones you're not, and by process of elimination, you'll be able to tell me which one.
Oh
you are.
yeah.
Frodo, you're not Frodo.
Oh, thank fuck.
To be more specific,
he's a whiny bitch.
You're 71% Frodo.
Oh.
So you're 71% whiny bitch.
Yeah.
You're not Superman. In fact, you're only 63% Superman.
Oh.
You're not Jack Bauer.
Well, no.
17% Jack. So you are. I'll say them again. You're not Frodo. He's not a Superman. You're not a Jack Bauer. You're a
Batman?
Neo.
Oh, that's the best answer.
You're a
of them all.
reluctant hero. You have to be convinced that you're one. You only step up when no one else will. But my goodness, you sure look good doing it.
Thank you.
And that's why you're 82% Neo.
Thank you, Amazon.
So, there we have it. A thorough, correct, scientifically backed analysis of you, Declan Delane, by the good people at gotoquiz.org or something like that.
And if anyone wants to do a sort of like a commissioned art piece of me dressed as Neo watching Madagascar.
In Madagascar, probably killing the big long horse one.
I'll be killing the NYPD.
Are they the antagonists in Madagascar? Is it an ACAB film?
No, I think there's some evil lions, but I don't.
I thought the lion were a good one. So you're saying the rest of his crowd is bad?
He's good, but then I think there are some evil ones.
So it goes to show that even lions can be bad, and that's a big message for 2020.
That was controversial back then, and it's controversial now.
Yeah, it hasn't aged well, actually. It looks quite offensive in the light of day. Now, I mentioned earlier in the episode, I think, that we had an email coming up. And I'd like to really emphasise again that we're a big fan of these. We haven't had many recently. And yes, we know that we've been very much the distant father figure that hasn't got in touch, that hasn't sent a birthday gift in a couple of months, or years, I suppose, because you don't have a birthday every few months, most likely. And that's on us. And look, we're going to change, aren't we? Aren't we second dad?
Oh, 100%.
You be Daddy Declan, and I'll be Father Isaac. Yeah?
I mean,
Daddy
okay.
Declan, come on. We can do better than this. We've got to pick up our listeners and
Not until you learn to read.
hold them to our breast, snuggle them to our ample bosom, our man breasts, and tell them it's going to be all right, stroking the nape of their neck and, yes, the top of their head as well, with our firm but weathered hands, with the soft gentility of fatherhood seeping through every pore.
And if you're the one listener out there who would find that comforting, this is the app for you.
We'll start a Patreon tier where you get that. We'll fly out to you and and cuddle you something silly, let me tell you. We've had an email from long-term friend of the show, Stalwart. Baffling that he's still listening, to be honest, because I wouldn't be, I don't think, after the amount of nonsense we put out. It's Kangaroo.
Hooray! Hello, Kangaroo.
Hey guys, says Roo. Another excellent Grussel hack. So this is in response to the previous Grusseling episode. It's really inspired a kind of Grusseling fervour in the listenership. We're a right bunch of kind of artful dodgers out there, I guess.
I think it speaks volumes that we missed the next episode after that one.
Here's a Grussel. Don't bother doing that. Another excellent Grussel hack to go along with Declan's napkin tip. Pizza places will give you paper plates if you ask for them. I didn't know this. Sometimes by the stack. The stack. In addition to not having to spend money on ridiculously marked up paper, you save time and money on dish soap and water, since you can chuck them in the trash after use, or I'd offer, frisbee them off the balcony. Even more fun. And perhaps you could...
That's a small game as well, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so then you can sell your Nintendo Switch, because you don't need that entertainment, because you've got the Grusselin joy, the Grusselin game. Less practically, he continues, you're never legally obligated to, quote, say when at restaurants when waiters grind cheese for you. That's so true.
That's very good.
And may I add a kind of, it's not a counter Grussel so much as an extra, like a Grussel on a Grussel, Grussel squared. Why not combine these? You get the paper plates first from your lunch. You get the waiter grinding the cheese, and you just slip that plate between cheese and plate once you've had enough on your Alfredo. And then you've just got a plate full of cheese to take
And you catch his
home.
eye and you go, keep grinding, big boy.
On Grusselin, and then you wink him, because he's probably in the
Slow
gig
motion
economy like we are. On another more serious note, I've cut my grocery bill a bit by reducing the amount of meat I buy. Congratulations. Glad to hear it. Ethical, climate-centric, a real stand-up guy, health-focused as well. But I'm having a hard time figuring out what to cook. Any simple, economical vegetarian recipes for the uninitiated, which you guys recommend. Lots of love and much Grusseling, Kangaroo. Now, I'm going to throw over to you first, Declan, because I feel like you're a good conduit between what I'd call the top of the mountain, where I sit a vegan, kind of enlightened, like a god, a golden god, a sort of Buddha figure.
A top Mount Privolo.
Yeah, top Mount. Wow, I've forgotten all about MP. Yeah, and you're kind of an ass, like as a donkey, I mean, ferrying people up the way from the kind of hell of carnism to where they could be. Just explain what that's like for you, first of all. Well, it's pretty meaty.
Well, meatier than your precipice.
Yeah, for sure.
I find I get a nice sort of tour because I get to, bask in your,
Eden-like
meatless,
haven.
animal productless light. But I do also get to have a bit of shameful flesh.
Getting in the piss vapours, diving headfirst into the piss trough.
And I'm licking it straight up.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew you were. You know when you eat...
And that's why you won't kiss me on the mouth when I get to the top of the mountain.
Well, that's not the only reason. There's a whole host.
I know it's the main one.
Okay, well that's debatable. So yeah, what would you offer to Kangaroo before I come in with some excellently researched, nutritionally complete options? That's right, we're sponsored by Huel.
Well, one of the options that I've taken a shine to recently is toast.
Oh no, I do believe you made brief mention of toast. Am I pronouncing it right? Toast.
Yeah, toast.
Toast in your last Grusselin ep.
Yeah.
What is it that speaks to you so much about the big breads?
Well, it's not all that expensive. Very filling.
Yeah,
and you're not obliged to put anything on it.
That's true.
There's
no toast police out there.
No, you can if you want though.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Cool.
I like that. It's a flexible meal.
It's the ultimate
your
flexible
choice.
food. Yeah.
Another thing, just some frozen waffles. Now you do cook them. You don't eat them frozen. I don't want anyone getting
Unless you need to
hurt
save
out
on
there.
heat and oven use, in which case
You just sort of sit on them for a little while.
splinter them down in your mouth into waffle shards,
And you can eat that with the sort of sauce of your choice.
or with some toast, a kind of garnish, a side salad of toast.
a waffle sandwich. A
Corn
sort of chip
toast.
butty of the poor.
Yeah, no, that's really lovely, and it's it's just interesting, I guess, from where I sit, to hear what you guys get up to down there. Rustling away atop Meat Mountain, or rather not atop it, but underneath the incredible moral pressure
In the mines.
down from on high. For me, I'm going to suggest something like a simple chili, a simple vegetable chili. When you transition to a meatless lifestyle, you want to start yourself off by like tricking your brain into thinking that you're not missing a huge thing from the plate, which unfortunately I have to say you are.
You are.
And not just from the plate, but from your life, your taste. God, the double cheese.
The double cheeseburger.
God, the double cheese. It's the only thing that I've narrowed it down to. That's like the only thing I crave still now, I think. So yeah, you want to go for
Not the triple cheeseburger.
I never had the triple cheeseburger, so
Why didn't you?
It didn't exist back in my day.
No, when you went to
In
Melbourne.
Australia. Oh God, I'd forgotten about that. No, that was too hedonistic to crave. That was too much.
I think it was too good. That's why you blanked it from
That
your
was
memory.
my big meal, wasn't it? A triple cheeseburger
And a McSpider.
McSpider. Now, what's Australia up to? When I asked them to
And a
define
$12
what it was,
Heineken, $12 Carlsberg,
very
whatever it was.
fancy. Thank God for per diems, say I, because I would not be able to afford a lick of beer otherwise. What I was saying was, yeah, you want to like ease yourself in with food that could conceivably have meat somewhere hidden in it, but it's not a main feature. So a chili is a great starting point, because whenever you have mince in a chili, it's such low quality meat usually, especially if it's shop bought, like as in like ready-made chili.
As opposed to shop stolen, shop lifted.
No, I mean like if it's ready-made rather than like chili that you've made yourself. And even then, like none of us are going to the butcher and getting our own meat ground. We're not that kind of bouge.
No.
So yeah, it's easy. Just don't have that bit and do everything else. I make a chili. It comes in at about £3 in terms of price. I can't do the exchange rate. I'm sorry, I don't work in that industry anymore. But they will last me. I can eat it for up to 5 days in a row. And some might say that's depressing.
And another thing is that you save on a lot of those smiling calories because you're
so darn
miserable.
sad. And another thing is you get to develop your palate to notice the very slight but poignant differences in day 1 to say day 2 chili. And then from day 2 to day 3 it gets even weirder.
You also get the experience, if you're like us, the unrivaled joy of the big bag o' rice.
Oh, we've got 10 kilos. We're packing heat when it comes to the grain. And it's in our big wooden Narnia
keep it in a cupboard.
Mr. Tumner's keeping an eye on the stuff. But yeah, I'd explore the chilies and the stews option. That's a great starting place. I don't know. I know Americans are like not huge about Indian food for some reason. Like I've been quite a few places in the States, and when I've had Indian food, it's been abysmal. Like super bad. And I say that as someone who, yes, I eat through the British Indian restaurant lens, but also we've got Bang Bang up the road, a haven of Asian culture and cuisine, and I eat a lot of authentic Indian food. And I've got to say, America's is not anything like that either. I'm sure it's out there. It's a big country. There must be people doing it right. I just haven't come across it myself.
No.
But a curry, God, a curry can keep you going, can't it? £1 for a big curry. 1 onion's all you need. And then that's it.
You know, there's no sauce.
Look, try this on. You put your cumin seeds in some oil. You chop an onion, slice, not dice. We want some body in the thing. Let that onion go golden. Add your chopped tomatoes. Add in your can of chickpeas or lentils. I'm not fussy. I'm not one to judge. Toast your spices. Bit of garlic. You're done. That'll feed you for upwards of 2 days.
And let's not forget everyone's favourite, pasta and red sauce.
Oh, the red sauce.
You've got to love the pasta and red sauce.
Rosso.
Yeah.
Keeps me going.
You get your chopped tomatoes.
Yeah.
You get those
your
onions
pasta.
you're on about.
Oh, done. Job done. Bob's
it.
your uncle. Bob's your vegan
You
uncle.
go down to Pizza Hut. You get your paper plate. They pop some cheese on it. A mountain. Sprinkle a bit of that on.
I made a naan bread yesterday and it was good, wasn't it?
It was
You
good.
tried it. It's quite powerful. It doesn't look quite right, and I don't know what's going on there, but it tastes very right. So that's something else to think about. If you want any more detailed recipes than the kind of garbled nonsense which I've spewed, just get in touch. Isaac@shame.city. I've been doing this for years now. I've got maybe 3 recipes. Each of them lasts months. No, I do. I do like to eat the same thing in a row. I don't know. It's just easier than cooking, isn't it? Like you want to cook in batches. Can't be fucking about with it. I know you cook toast sometimes twice a day, but you're quite an active.
And I cook tomorrow's toast.
You let it mature overnight, soaking in the toast vat of yesterday's crumb, just to give it that vintage feel. But yeah, get in touch. Tass@shame.city with emails. Isaac@shame.city if you want any vegan recipe plans. Because we've got them. That's the kind of offer we put out on this show. Very few shows have the hosts with such disparate experiences offering such disparate services.
Oh, exactly.
Declan, desperate to cuddle you to his teat just minutes ago on air, whereas I've got a more kind of hands-off approach, respectfully offering vegan cuisine to those who wish to seek it. No judgment, no long ting, no.
And you don't stink of the piss mines either.
Of course I don't, because I'm burrowing down into the big tube to relieve myself in a colourless haze of glee, thanks to this big water bottle that I carry with me everywhere I go. Look, it's been one complicated episode, and I don't ever wish to listen back to it to know what was said. There were moments in there where Declan was wandering all over the room, and you'll notice that I was monologuing, desperate for him to return and answer the points I was making. Sorry about that.
I started delaying just to see what sentence might come next.
If it weren't 3 a.m, I would have gone longer, I'll be honest. And if I were loaded up on some of these vegan huels, then yeah, I'd be there. But alas, we paused it a few times, and probably when we resumed, it's very obvious because we changed tact rapidly. Sorry for all the cum tap stuff. We'll really try hard to excise it from future audio sessions.
But once you don't want to just mention it in passing, because otherwise people do have questions.
And if you've got some big ideas, because I do worry that we're missing out on some of the big kind of food groups when it comes to what the sad tap emergence could be, email tass@shame.city, subject line tap, all caps of course.
What about and I know this is a nebulous one,
go on,
bin juice.
Bin, that's a good one. Yeah, because bin juice, nebulousness is its most sort of key attribute.
It's ephemeral,
and it's in that lack of a relation to anything that clearly went into the bin. It's like the bin is a sort of machine where you put in normal stuff and out comes an elixir so foul.
There's so few things in the crossover between ephemeral and stinks to high hell.
Yeah, bin is really the main one there. It's things like that we wouldn't get on other shows, and thanks for bearing with us. Until the next episode, which I'm reliably informed will be more prepared than this one and possibly feature less kind of tap imagery overall in totality.
It's not the tap element that I've got.
No, it's really the tap people are responding too badly. I've checked the feeds. I've been Isaac. I've been
Declan.
Happy Oscars, everybody. Bye bye.
The bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I I mean the bare necessities, oh, Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder, my new home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. The bare necessities, the bare necessities, the bare necessities of life will come to you.